Yo, let's get this party started. God, I just started the live stream. I already messed up. Hold on. Yo, let's get this party started. Welcome back to the VoskCoin YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button. Also, I found a cool new setting. Only subscribers can talk in the live chat. So yeah, now you know. Today we're going to be talking about something incredibly controversial. And I know I didn't do a live stream countdown to the actual block happening, and honestly I think that's boring, and I'm not trying to throw shade at anyone in particular. I'm serious when I say that. It's just this is really a non-event as far as like in the short term. Okay, like Ethereum, made a change to their code, and they made some changes, but it's the impact in the long term, the medium term, and just the general sentiment that Ethereum EIP-1559 and these London hard fork changes impact. But let's look at this. This is crazy. So I have this link down in the video description below, and from here you can watch as Ethereum is burned. Like, this is a crazy amount of Ethereum. So and by the way, please follow us on Twitter. I'm not really huge on Twitter, but it's just a good platform to like be able to easily and quickly communicate, as opposed to like the YouTube community tab is just not that fantastic. But you take Twitter here, and so I just took a little timestamp about an hour after the 1559 or London hard fork was completed. About 280 Ethereum, or no, I'm sorry, this isn't even an hour, this is over an hour. It was after about an hour, 150 Ethereum was burnt, and then I took this screenshot timestamp. And if you take that value, 150 Ethereum, just in about the first hour, that's over $400,000 worth of Ethereum. And so that burned Ethereum generally would be considered to be going to miners. So that's $400,000 of mining revenue that's just being burned. Why burn, right? And so this is largely revolving around the fact that Ethereum is developed, maintained, and pushed forward by people that don't mine. They don't mine Ethereum. They don't care. They have big bags of ETH, and proof of stake is much more appealing to them. Also, instead of paying miners, which they are not, it makes more sense to them to burn the coins, increase the scarcity of the ETH coins, the Ether, and thus they're basically pumping their own bags indirectly from a like fundamental and technical point of view. And I'm not even here to hate today, but that's the fact of the matter. That's what it is. That's what we're dealing with. Surprisingly, people are buying the news here. They're buying the fork. And so when I was setting up this stream just about, an hour and a half ago, I was, loading the pages and stuff like that, and Ethereum was trading at about $2,600, and we checked the charts. It's spiking. Oftentimes, coins dump on news like this, but instead, it's pumping. And with the general market sentiment, Ethereum, you would assume, would be dipping, but we've seen a rebound in prices recently. And let me pull this up for you guys. Where'd I hide it? Okay, so this is one random note. Just so from an Ethereum miner's point of view, is that depending on the pool and how they handle it, like the mining experience is going to get worse. Things like you have to set your gas fee and this and that, and if it's not good enough, then your payout will fail. And pushing, the easel pool, I'm not a fan. This is putting a weird burden on Ethereum miners, and this should all be handled poolside as far as I'm concerned. But in their defense, Ethereum developers do not set miners up for success to any degree. So right now, and these Ethereum gas fees have come down almost like 30 gwei since I was setting this up. And it's also very weird and interesting to see OpenSea leading the gas consumption on the Ethereum blockchain. And then third, we have Axie Infinity, which has really taken off in the last really like couple months, especially. But to make a basic Uniswap trade, a decentralized exchange trade, over $50. Realistically, depending on your token pairs, you could be slapped in the face for about $100. You send a Ethereum token right now on chain, $20, man. Like, this is not, they're forever drowning in their own success and the congestion here. So if EIP-1559 was supposed to fix gas fees, which we talked about 100 times, it's here and gas still sucks. So congratulations, you guys were lied to, and some people bought it. And, I'm not trying to sound negative in this video. Honestly, I don't really care ultimately. But let's talk about why Ethereum London hard fork is such a big deal. Okay, so the hard fork just activated, and I don't really like pulling news off CNBC on Crypto Decoded. Like, that's how you know crypto is bubbly, getting real-time active coverage from CNBC, not even on Bitcoin, on an altcoin, things supposed to be below the orange coin, even though, like, Ethereum is absolutely better than Bitcoin. And I'm not even a huge Ethereum fanboy, just to be clear on that, but as far as, like, usability, wow. But, changes in the way the transaction fees are handled, smoothing them out, sets the stage for major transformation that will make it harder for miners to earn money and could eventually make mining irrelevant. Wow. So, and that's another thing too, and the whole tribalism within Ethereum, or excuse me, cryptocurrency is just weird. And so I'm not a huge fan of this guy personally, but the fact of the matter is, like, these are screenshots of, Bitcoin maximalists hating on Ethereum, the second biggest cryptocurrency. And it's just weird. Like, how can you be pushing Bitcoin and then, like, trying to crap on Ethereum? All the more reason why more and more people are moving away from Bitcoin and to other cryptocurrencies. So, I don't know. I feel so conflicted because, like, I'm absolutely disrespected beyond, like, any like savable means here when it comes to Ethereum and being an Ethereum miner. But I do use Ethereum well beyond mining, and that's why I find this really disappointing and disrespectful. Because I love DeFi, decentralized finance, yield farming, making trades decentralized. That has so much value, especially for U.S. citizens that are boxed out of so many different cryptocurrency exchanges. I go on Uniswap, other than them censoring tokens, which we just recently talked about. But I go in there, I trade any coins I want. There's no KYC, there's no know your customer, and I'm not doing anything bad. Is this so much to ask? That I just want to trade whatever I want to trade whenever, wherever? I mean, isn't that freedom? So let me know in the chat where you guys are checking in from. I appreciate the donations, guys. That's awesome. So Air to the Ron, man, I appreciate you too. Thanks for the donation. Quang Yun, it's always good to see you. And I appreciate it, man. And I always enjoy you checking in. And thanks so much for the donation there. And then Chris Dotsica says, what do you expect ADA to drop to in the bear market if ADA hits 5 before that? So... Quang Yoon coming for that number one spot with tied for first. I love it, man. Thanks for the donation. I appreciate that. So let's touch on the Cardano real quick. Some people think it's going to be the Ethereum killer and all that. We're still waiting. But Cardano has been an incredible investment over the last year. We look at the price about a year ago. Up 870% since then, making it a better investment than Bitcoin over the last year, which is always interesting. The volume through the roof. In comparison, the interest has peaked astronomically in comparison. But one really key thing to note here is you look at this price and you look at the volume, and it's just not as solid as it was a couple months ago, but just like many other cryptocurrencies. For me, just like random, off the books prediction, I think that in the bear market, you'll get Cardano for under 25 cents, and next bull run you'll see a $5 ADA. I mean, something like that, double an all-time high. I mean, look, these are just really like, don't hold me to these, but you asked, and there's the I'm gonna make a quick decision here on the books. But yeah, like Westbit says, like Solana, and there's a lot of other competitors to Cardano. Cardano talks a lot, but they don't do a lot. They're a highly value. I think they're really overly valued per what they actually can do and perform here. But as always, time will tell. Speaking of things you didn't want to hear about, or maybe you did, how about the VIP mining bundle from Compass? So with the VIP mining bundle, you can sign up here now and learn more. But basically, you get 12 new Antminer S19Js. One unit will come online each month, basically through almost all of 2022. Learn more about Compass and Compass mining with the link in the video description below. Also, quick note on our live stream sponsor of the month, Prime XBT, which you can get some free bonus Bitcoin to trade on their platform with the codes that I am dropping in the live. Oh, that's not a good orientation. I'm gonna drop that just to make your head spin. These codes, last time I checked, are worth like $150 or something. Just so you know, please don't be super disappointed, because if you're a U.S. citizen, then you cannot participate with Prime XBT, but they do allow you to trade cryptocurrencies, stocks, and they also give you the opportunity to do copy trades, which is pretty interesting, and allows you to ride some others' coattails for potentially big returns. But there are some fees associated with that. We got a referral link down below. Make sure to grab it and sign up if you want to. So I always appreciate those that help us keep VoskCoin going, because let me just tell you up front, it's not AdSense revenue, just basically YouTube ads that will keep the channel running, especially in a bear market. We've got 800 people tuning into the stream right now. Did you know that 588 Ethereum have been burned since the London hard fork in EIP-1559 earlier this morning? 800 people watching, and not even 200 likes on the video. I'm honestly a little upset. I'm a little sad. But yeah, Luke makes a good point. Vosk is a U.S. citizen, but tells us not. That's true. She's Japanese. So now you know. Chump Change, thanks so much for noticing, man. The 400K was a crazy journey. I appreciate it, and appreciate what you do. As just a fellow community member and content creator here. So don't keep it up, my man. Danny Greer, bro, you don't have to donate to me. Come on, man. But I dig the 666. Keeping it classic. Keeping it in line with the character. So let's talk about this. Let me know some questions you guys have. And my man, my bad, was watching the video. Thumbs up! Oh, sorry, that probably peaked the audio. I got excited right there. So I wrote down a couple notes so I wouldn't forget things in the video and look like a freaking idiot. Good news. So here's some rough math notes here. And so the initial diagnosis of the Ethereum London hard fork in EIP-1559 is that the Ethereum blockchain is moving about 20% faster right now. And you are earning about 20% less, which essentially, per this metric, Ethereum mining profitability should be about on par with what it should be or expected, right? It's like you reduce something 20%, but then another thing's up 20%. You would think that puts us around zero. But keep in mind that the Ethereum blockchain is pretty congested right now. It's pretty expensive to transact on the blockchain. We just talked about the Ethereum gas fees, and the Etherscan gas tracker is such an incredible tool for that. It's something I open in my browser almost daily. And I think that this is really going to cloak how much of a negative impact that EIP-1559 has had on Ethereum miner revenue. Okay, so moving forward, it is more risky than ever to get into Ethereum mining, to have Ethereum miners. I'm so exhausted, people thinking that there's any other cryptocurrencies that could fill even 25% of the void that Ethereum will leave whenever, one day, someday, They moved to proof of stake and actually moved to the Ethereum 2.0 blockchain, which is live. And they reward validators. They have increased, or they have directed issuance of Ethereum to Ethereum 2.0. So like they are paying to run two blockchains right now, right? Inadvertently with minting Ethereum, right? Because what's a supply cap? Look, you should Google what is the Ethereum max supply. You may not like what you find, but the takeaway is, well, here's another thing before I get to that point, is if you don't know this, in the last 3 months, Ethereum mining has not just been, more profitable than Bitcoin mining by, this metric or that metric. Ethereum mining produces more revenue the last 3 months than Bitcoin mining. And that is a smaller cryptocurrency when ranked by CoinMarketCap. Ethereum, at current prices, it's almost half the market cap of Bitcoin. And if you want to compare Bitcoin to Ethereum, I do think the concept of Ethereum is still undervalued. But Ethereum is crumbling under its own success via blockchain congestion at its current level, right? So I don't really think it's undervalued, but if it could handle more transactions per second effectively with actually super cheap fees, then it would be incredibly undervalued. And then people think and shout and they say Ethereum 2.0 will be the thing to do that. Maybe not. But that's not really the point of today's video. Maybe we're dealing with something really complex, and the fundamentals of Ethereum mining and the grassroots marketing approach and truly decentralizing not only the network, but also the distribution of the coins, right? So Jeff over there, he could learn about it. And maybe he's got a gaming PC, and then he could start mining Ethereum right there. Boom, decentralizes the network, gets another participant, and he starts earning some coins. With just 6 GPUs, I used to mine, I think it was 1 Ethereum every 4 days when I started my journey, right? And I'm talking like graphics cards you could have got for like between $100 and $200, good deal to bad deal, right? So building out a full 6x GPU mining rig for less than $2,000 and earning a couple Ethereum a week. And there were ways to get way better returns than that in 2016 as opposed to 2017 when I really started mining. And, that has such a huge value that I think is so sadly overlooked and forgotten, and all like the environmental nonsense is just really sad. It's very off topic. It's very 2021, fear propaganda marketing. And just they look for 100 ways to control the sheeps, and it's just like, bro, think for yourself. The fact of the matter is that proof of stake, just simply that is a rich get richer, right? The people who already have a ton of Ethereum will stake a ton of Ethereum, and they will make a ton of Ethereum. I think a hybrid blockchain is the best. Have mining, have staking, have masternodes, have yield farming and other interesting mechanics to earn coins with a combination of participation and holding and long term and maybe slight lockups. And there's a lot. The tokenomics, right, which is always a fun crypto term, is it's so intense and complex and interesting, and how it impacts and is received by the human mind, and what the average person can even bear to understand. Because if you're watching this video, you're probably at a minimum an intermediate level cryptocurrency user, right? If you can understand anything I'm saying, you're pretty freaking smart, man. And I'm not saying I'm some super genius and it's hard to understand me. I'm just saying that when people think that Doge is going to go to $10 and they say that with a straight face and they mean it, and they mean soon, they're not that smart. But my point more specifically with that is that Doge is a prime example of something with a limitless supply, no fundamental use case, a fun marketing that turned into just never-ending pump it, shill it viral marketing, and above all, the tokenomics of just having so many coins where it's like, oh, dude, I bought 1,000,000 coins. If they go to $1, I'm a millionaire. And that actually almost happened for some people. And that is such a simple, like almost caveman mindset, right? But that's what the retail investor plebs want. That's what they respond to. And that is why Bitcoin is a millionaire's coin now. Because only people with money or very high like risk tolerance will either invest a large majority of their net worth, or just simply like some of their money. They already have a lot of money, so 40 grand isn't like, oh, I don't have 40 grand. They're like, I got 40 grand times 10, 20, 100. So it's not that big of a deal. But the dream of owning one Bitcoin continues to fade away, and it's unappealing. Nobody wants to own 0.000017 Bitcoin. Like, that's really lame. Whereas even if you just own 537 Dogecoin, you feel way cooler and just way more engaged. And it's more exciting, and it's even just easier to understand. And so we deal with this like very like interesting dilemma. And I think, well, I guess I'm really getting off topic at this point, but it's just some things to think about, some food for thought. I think Ethereum finds itself somewhere trapped in the middle. They continue to issue coins, but now they burn coins. The actual token supply is exponentially lower than something like Dogecoin, but it is so much more accessible than something like Bitcoin. And, it's, I don't know. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to keep rambling in that regard. So let me know what questions you guys have, and then we'll keep going through this video. Probably have like 15 more minutes worth of stuff to talk about. But on that topic, I think now is a prime opportunity to sell Ethereum in the short term. Some people will laugh at me, but I mean, this is a pretty expensive Ethereum, based off the recent performance. I mean, we look just in the last 30 days. This is an all-time high in the last 30 days, pretty significantly. We go back 90 days, and this metric is only, just as like succeeding the pump that happened about June 7th. But other than that, we're on paper as close as we've been to the all-time highs earlier this year. Sure, maybe we could be trending back up and everything like that. And there's so many metrics and things that go into this. But one thing that is a key indicator that is generally very good and something I base a lot of moves and actions off of is the simple fact, we look at the volume, and the volume levels are so different. And the engagement in this, so I'm bullish on cryptocurrency, super long term. But one interesting view I get into cryptocurrency is the engagement on videos. And it's not a perfect metric because some videos are good, some videos are bad, some days I suck, some days I do better, whatever. But my metrics are down significantly, right? And if my metrics are down significantly, that means less people are watching, less people are engaged, but in turn, less people are investing money, less new people are getting into this, because I try to gear a lot of the content to either be like, make it accessible, tutorial style. If you don't know, hopefully by the end of videos, you do know how to do certain things or get involved. And my goal has always been to explain things in as simple as possible ways. I don't need to, throw a bunch of terms and flex and act like I'm some super genius. I've got nothing to prove. I'm happy with myself in that regard. And so if I can, basically make it simple and make it more accessible, then that's a win. And I encourage more people to get into the incredible world of cryptocurrency, but it's not financial advice. I hate that I have to say stuff like that. But if I ever end up in court, I'll be like, dudes, I said I'm not financial advice like 797 times just last year. I'm leaving. That's my defense. I'm out. But my point is that the big takeaway is that that's like a very bearish sentiment. People like are super bullish on this and that and whatever. But the big takeaway is like that's very bearish. And I'm not trying to sound negative or anything, but you can't dispute numbers, and that's why numbers, although sometimes depressing, can really be a beautiful and just pure thing. And if metrics are plummeting, why would we be trending towards a new all-time high? For example, my metrics are matching about December 2020 metrics, where crypto really started to pop and take off. And it had to ramp up for about 5 months from there, or really almost 4 to 5, you could say, to hit new all-time highs for most coins. And now we are basically we've been removed that far back. Am I lagging? Oh no, I'm lagging. All right, hopefully I'm not lagging anymore. Let me know in the live chat. Yeah, so anyway, my point here is I think I'm good now. It's looking choppy. But my big takeaway here is that that's something interesting and to keep in mind, and just something I really wanted to share with you guys, because one, I just want to inform that you guys can't believe I'm lagging like this. All right. Maybe I'm back. So basically maybe this background is just not doing. Boom. No, that didn't help. So the takeaway is simply that the metrics have been dropping, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. And it's something really important. This is pissing me off. All right, so let me know if my audio is lagging. A crazy amount of you guys. This is pissing me off. So basically the big takeaway here is the simple fact, the metrics have kind of plummeted big time, and it's something I want to share, and it's definitely a bearish factor. And up until really even into June, the metrics kept building, and after the spike, the impact there, it did have an impact. But the big takeaway here is it's something to think about, something to keep in mind, and factor into the moves you're making, right? And so let me regain myself here, as I've completely just failed you, and I'm gonna go ahead and drop this webcam. I do want to make a quick note. This isn't even meant to be like a sponsored message or anything like that, but last week we did a video on how to yield farm and maximize your crypto gains. And with that, the big takeaway was simply that it's a fun way to earn coins with your coins. It's kind of like an advanced level of staking in that regard. But we're giving away 5 Ethereum in association with Wheat DeFi. So I linked out the video below if you want to learn more about it. I thought it'd be fun to share with the topic of the Ethereum on this video. So you can learn more about it. Check out their site. Since our video, the price has actually almost doubled since then. And it's a great opportunity to get involved if you want to. I'm not endorsing it per se. They were audited by Diligence, and if you don't know, Consensus Diligence audits are about $100,000. Okay, so at the time of recording that video, the audit was more than 10% of their market cap. So definitely fun stuff. Fun stuff to keep in mind. And now at the time of this video, 5 Ethereum is 14 grand. At the time of that video, it was, a little bit over 10 grand. So always fun stuff. If you are tuning in, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream soon. Please smash the thumbs up, which is the like button. Crazy 1,100 viewers right now. Thank you everyone taking the time to tune in. And let me know the questions you have. I will I'll answer them the best I can before I go and sign off on this video. All right, let's do a quick test. Am I still lagging? Yeah, it's still super choppy. That's crazy. Let's go ahead and shut this down. Shut this down. Maybe there's just never enough RAM in a day. But yeah, let me know. Let me know in the comments or the live chat what you guys want to cover or any questions you have. I really... Got me again. They froze me with my mouth open. I just look ridiculous now. That's it. We're done. We're done with the camera today. Unreal. I will say one thing that did kind of catch me by surprise is the simple fact that NFTs, non-fungible tokens, are gaining a lot of speed and momentum lately. We got Mr. Soat, Son of a Tech, checking into the live stream. Obviously, you've probably heard of him. He covers a bunch of mining content and definitely worth checking out. Come on, bro. I'm saying I got a slow video card. I got like 16 RAM. That's onboard memory with this thing. Stop mining, man. No, 4 gigabyte cards will never be able to mine Ethereum again. And you won't even be able to mine Ethereum for, how long? Man, my internet is just beating the crap out of me today. I don't know why I pay $100 a month for internet that's going to do me like this. And I'm even hardlined in. So what a fantastic day. I'll go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Yep, nothing. As always, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for viewing. Please make sure to slap the thumbs up. I'll see you guys on the next video. As always, stay awesome. Don't give up. Cryptocurrency is fun and exciting, and even if Ethereum just continues to punch ETH miners in the face, there's still a lot of exciting opportunities here. So, I'll see you guys on the next video.